Hey, legends, welcome back. In this video, we're uncovering the 5 most demanding Australian 50-cent coins that most people have spent without a second thought. But collectors are hunting like hidden treasure. These coins carry raw history, national pride, and shocking value jumps that few ever see coming. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Let's get started. First up, the 2002 Australian 50-cent coin year of the Outback is a tribute, a celebration, and for collectors, a serious conversation starter that instantly grabs attention. Released to honor the year of the Outback, this coin captures something deeper than metal and design. It represents the soul of rural Australia, the remote regions where life is tough, distances are brutal, and resilience is not optional. When this coin was issued, it wasn't just meant to circulate. It was meant to speak. It speaks of cattle stations stretching beyond the horizon, of road trains roaring across empty highways, of communities surviving and thriving far from the spotlight of major cities. The design alone demands respect. Flip the coin, and you are immediately pulled into a scene that feels alive. The imagery celebrates the Outback's wildlife and rugged environment, reminding you that this land shaped Australia's identity long before modern skylines existed. Every line and detail feels intentional, crafted to reflect strength, endurance, and national pride. This is the kind of coin that makes even non-collectors pause for a second look. What truly fuels the hype around this coin is not just its theme, but its place in modern Australian numismatic history. Commemorative 50-cent coins already carry a strong following. But the year of the Outback issue stands out because of its emotional connection. Collectors aren't just chasing metal, they're chasing meaning. This coin represents a moment when Australia collectively looked inward and honored its roots, its remote regions, and the people who call the Outback home. Now let's talk reality, because this is where things get exciting. Most people saw this coin as everyday currency. It passed through hands, tills, wallets, and coin jars without a second thought. But time has a way of separating the ordinary from the extraordinary. High-grade examples, especially those preserved with care, began to rise above the rest. As collectors became more selective and demand grew, attention shifted from casual interest to serious pursuit. Condition plays a massive role here. Coins that escaped heavy circulation, avoided scratches, and retained sharp detail became the true prizes. Add to that collector competition, limited availability of top condition pieces, and the powerful theme behind the coin, and you have the perfect storm for rising desirability. This is exactly how modern coins transform from pocket change into headline-worthy collectibles. And here's where jaws start to drop, because this is not a small story. In the collector market, exceptional examples of the 2002 Australian 50-cent coin year of the Outback have reached astonishing levels, with recorded values climbing as high as $33,400. That's the magic of numismatics. One moment it's just another coin, the next it's a symbol of history, culture, and serious money. And remember, this is only the first coin. Stay locked in, because the next one takes this journey even further. Next up, the 1973 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin is not loud, flashy, or exaggerated, yet it commands respect the moment it appears. This is the kind of coin that doesn't need hype to be powerful. Its symbolism does all the talking. Released during a period of change and modernization in Australia, this coin belongs to the early years of decimal currency when the country was still shaping how it wanted to present itself to the world. By 1973, Australians were already familiar with the 50-cent denomination, but the coat of arms design gave it a sense of permanence. This wasn't just money anymore. This was national identity in your hand. The reverse design is where the authority truly lives. The Australian coat of arms stands strong, featuring the kangaroo and the emu, 2 animals that famously cannot move backward. That alone sends a message of progress, strength, and forward momentum. At the center sits the shield, divided into sections representing the states of Australia, unified under one emblem. Surrounding it all is a sense of balance and dignity that feels timeless, even decades later. This coin doesn't scream for attention, but collectors know better. There's something deeply satisfying about coins like this. Designs that age well, themes that never lose relevance, and symbolism that only grows stronger over time. The 1973 issue holds a special place because it sits at the intersection of early decimal history and mature national design. What truly separates this coin from ordinary circulation pieces is the way condition changes everything. Millions were struck, yes, but most lived hard lives. They rattled in pockets, scraped against keys, and wore down across decades of everyday use. Sharp, clean examples with strong detail on the coat of arms are far more elusive than people expect. And when you move into premium grades, scarcity becomes very real, very fast. Collectors chase this coin not because it is rare in theory, but because it is rare in excellence. Finding one with crisp lettering, bold devices, minimal marks, and strong original luster is a challenge that keeps serious numismatists hunting year after year. Add historical significance to condition rarity, and suddenly this once overlooked coin steps into a completely different league. There is also something incredibly powerful about how this coin represents stability. Governments change, technology advances, and currencies evolve, but the coat of arms remains. Owning this coin feels like holding a snapshot of Australia, asserting its identity with confidence and clarity. That emotional weight is something no price guide can fully explain, yet it plays a massive role in collector demand. And now comes the moment that truly changes how people look at this coin forever. In top-tier condition, standout examples of the 1973 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin have achieved values reaching as high as $25,600. That's the transformation. From everyday change to elite collectible. From forgotten circulation coin to a piece collectors proudly showcase. And this journey is far from over. Stay tuned, because the next coin pushes the excitement even further. Next up. Now let's slow things down for a moment and really focus, because this coin quietly proves that you don't need flashy designs or commemorative themes to become powerful. The 1984 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin is a perfect example of how strength, history, and condition can turn an ordinary-looking coin into something collectors deeply respect. This is a sleeper coin, a coin most people ignore, and that is exactly why it surprises so many. By 1984, the 50-cent denomination was already firmly established in Australian daily life. These coins were everywhere, passed across shop counters, dropped into vending machines, tossed into drawers, and forgotten. Yet beneath that everyday use was a design that carried enormous weight. The coat of arms is not decoration. It is authority. It is unity. It is the official symbol of the nation itself. When you look at the reverse, the message is immediate and unmistakable. The kangaroo and the emu stand proudly, supporting the shield that represents the Australian states. These animals were chosen for a reason. They do not move backward. The symbolism is powerful and intentional, reflecting progress, determination, and national pride. Even decades later, that symbolism hasn't weakened. If anything, it has become stronger with time. What makes the 1984 issue especially fascinating is how easily it blends into circulation history. Most examples show clear signs of wear. Soft details, contact marks, faded surfaces. That's because this coin worked hard. It lived a real life. And that's where the collector challenge begins. Finding an example that escaped that fate is far harder than people expect. High-grade pieces from this year are where the story completely changes. Coins with strong luster, clean fields, sharp detail on the coat of arms, and minimal marks are incredibly difficult to locate. These are not coins you casually stumble upon. They are hunted, upgraded, submitted, and fiercely competed for when they appear on the market. Collectors understand something important about coins like this. While rare dates get attention, condition rarity creates legends. The 1984 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin proves that point beautifully. Millions may have been struck, but only a tiny fraction survived in elite condition. And that tiny fraction is where demand explodes. There is also a deep sense of nostalgia attached to this coin. For many Australians, this was part of everyday life in the 1980s. Seeing it now, preserved in near-perfect condition, feels like opening a time capsule. It reconnects people to a different era, simpler times, familiar designs, and a strong national identity reflected in everyday currency. And here's where everything clicks into place. When an exceptional example surfaces, one that checks every box collectors look for, the market reacts instantly. Prices jump. Competition intensifies. And suddenly, a coin once dismissed as common becomes headline-worthy. Top grade examples of the 1984 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin have reached values of $13,500. That's the quiet power of this coin. No gimmicks. No hype-driven theme. Just history, symbolism, condition, and demand working together perfectly. And we're not done yet. The next coin in this series raises the stakes even higher. So stay right here. Next up, the 1999 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin arrives from an era many people still remember clearly, which makes its rise in the collector world even more shocking. This is not an ancient relic. This is not a colonial-era rarity. This is a coin that once lived in wallets, cash registers, and everyday transactions. Yet today, it demands attention in a way few modern coins ever do. By the late 1990s, Australia was deep into the decimal era, and the 50-cent coin was a workhorse of daily commerce. It was trusted, familiar, and often overlooked. That's exactly why the 1999 issue is so fascinating. It represents a time when no one was thinking about rarity, preservation, or future value. Coins were spent freely, handled roughly, and rarely set aside with care. The coat of arms design once again takes center stage, but in 1999 it feels different. It feels confident, mature, fully established. The kangaroo and emu stand firm, supporting the shield that symbolizes the unity of Australian states. This design had already proven its staying power, and by this point, it was deeply embedded in national identity. That timeless strength is a big reason collectors continue to chase it. What separates this coin from others of the same design is survival in top condition. The late 1990s were not kind to circulating coins. Heavy usage, automated machines, and constant handling meant most examples suffered quickly. Surface marks, dull finishes, and worn details became the norm. Clean, sharply struck examples with strong eye appeal are far scarcer than mintage figures suggest. Collectors who understand modern numismatics know this truth well. Age alone does not create value. Condition does. And the 1999 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin is a textbook example. When preserved with full detail, strong luster, and minimal contact marks, it transforms completely. It stops being just a coin and starts becoming a statement. There is also a psychological factor at play here. Because this coin feels modern, people underestimate it. That underestimation fuels surprise, and surprise fuels demand. When collectors realize how difficult it is to secure a top-tier example, competition intensifies fast. Auctions heat up, prices jump, and suddenly, a coin most people ignored for years becomes highly desirable. Another layer of excitement comes from the transition era this coin represents. The end of the 1990s marked a turning point globally, technologically, economically, and culturally. Coins from this period carry a unique nostalgia, bridging the gap between old-school cash handling and the rise of digital transactions. That emotional connection adds weight to collector interest. Now here's the moment that changes everything. In elite condition, standout examples of the 1999 Australian 50-cent coat of arms coin have achieved values reaching as high as $19,700. That number alone forces a second look. It proves that modern coins can rise, that overlooked years can outperform expectations, and that knowledge is everything in coin collecting. And with only one coin left in this series, the final reveal is about to bring this journey to a powerful close. Stay with me. Next up. Now this coin changes the tone completely, Because this is not about power, authority, or national symbols carved into shields. This coin is about people. Real people. Quiet heroes who never asked for recognition, yet carried entire communities on their shoulders. The 2003 Australian 50-cent coin honoring Australia's volunteers is one of the most emotionally charged modern coins Australia has ever released. And that emotional weight is exactly why collectors take it so seriously today. This coin was created to recognize millions of Australians who give their time, energy, and skills without expecting anything in return. Firefighters who rush toward danger. Community workers who show up when no one else does. Volunteers who support hospitals, disaster relief, sports clubs, and local services across the country. This coin doesn't celebrate fame or power. It celebrates service. The moment you look at the design, you feel that shift. It doesn't feel aggressive or authoritative. It feels human, purposeful, respectful. The imagery reflects unity, contribution, and shared responsibility. This is a coin that tells a story of cooperation and compassion, values that don't always get enough spotlight in currency design. That alone makes it stand out in Australian numismatic history. When this coin entered circulation, most people didn't think twice about it. It was spent, touched, used, appreciated briefly, then forgotten. But collectors noticed something special early on. Commemorative coins tied to strong national values often age extremely well in the market. As time passes, their meaning deepens, and demand grows alongside that meaning. The early 2000s were a heavy circulation era. Coins moved fast, machines handled them roughly, and preservation was rarely a priority. That reality makes high-quality examples of this coin surprisingly difficult to find today. Many show surface marks, dull finishes, or softened details. Clean examples with sharp strikes and strong visual appeal are far rarer than the public realizes. What truly elevates this coin is how condition interacts with message. A pristine example feels powerful. It feels respectful. It feels like the tribute it was meant to be. Collectors place enormous value on that feeling. When a coin captures emotion and survives in exceptional condition, it becomes far more than metal. It becomes a statement piece. Another reason this coin has exploded in interest is its relevance. Volunteering is timeless. Every generation understands it. As years pass, this coin becomes a reminder of collective responsibility in a rapidly changing world. That relevance ensures long-term demand, especially among collectors who value meaning just as much as rarity. Auction appearances of high-grade examples tell the story clearly. When a top-tier 2003 Volunteers 50-cent coin surfaces, attention spikes immediately. Collectors know they are not just competing for condition, but for a piece of social history. That competition drives prices upward fast, often beyond expectations. And here is the moment that fully redefines this coin's reputation. In elite condition, outstanding examples of the 2003 Australian 50-cent coin honoring Australia's volunteers have achieved values of $28,500. That number is not just impressive. It is symbolic. It proves that coins honoring humanity, service, and selflessness can stand shoulder to shoulder with the most powerful designs in the market. This coin doesn't shout. It resonates. And that resonance is exactly why it closes this 5-coin journey on such a powerful, unforgettable note.